Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I would like to give you a presentation about the initials. But what are the initials of the Quran? The Quran starts at the beginning of 29 surahs with 14 different combinations of letters. Let's take Surah 2 as an example. Surah 2 begins as follows. In the name of God, the gracious, the compassionate. Alif Lam Mim 1, 30, 40. This is the book in which there is no doubt. A guide for the conscientious. We see Surah 2 begins with the letters Alif Lam Mim, and these letters have an interlocking numerical system with 19. These letters are understood as numbers, and they are also understood directly in connection with the 19. To make the whole thing clear, I will now show you Surah 50. This surah begins with the Arabic letter Qaf. If we now count the letter Qaf in this surah, we get a sum that is a multiple of 19. Here you can see the letter marked in color. And if we do this until the end of the Surah 50, we get 57, which is 19 times 3. And in this way, we can prove that the Quran was protected by God. A more impressive proof is the Ha Mim count. If we look in the Quran, we see that Surah 40 to 46 start with the letters Ha and Mim. And if we now count all the Ha and Mims from Surah 40 to 46, we will again get a multiple of 19. The letter Ha is marked in red and the letter Mim is marked in blue. Now let's start counting. In Surah 40, the letter Ha appears exactly 64 times and the letter Mim appears exactly 380 times. Now let's move on to Surah 41. In Surah 41, the letter Ha occurs exactly 48 times and the letter Mim occurs 276 times. We now come to Surah 42. Surah 42 has another letter combination of Ain, Sin, Qaf in verse 2. In Surah 42, the letter Ha occurs exactly 53 times and the letter Mim occurs 300 times. We now come to Surah 43. In Surah 43, the letter Ha occurs exactly 44 times and the letter Mim occurs 324 times. Now we come to Surah 44. In Surah 44, the letter Ha occurs exactly 16 times and the letter Mim occurs 150 times. We now come to Surah 45. In Surah 45, the letter Ha occurs exactly 31 times and the letter Mim occurs exactly 200 times. And now we come to the last Surah 46. In Surah 46, the letter Ha occurs 36 times and the letter Mim occurs 225 times. The final result is 2147, which is 19 times 113. But this was not all. If you take the cross sum of the letters Ha and Mim from Surah 40 to 46 and add them together, we will get the multiplier, which is multiplied by the number 19. If we do 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 0 and so on, we get the number 113. But there is another very interesting fact. I mentioned earlier that the Surah 42 in verse 2 has another letter combination of Ain, Sin, Qaf. If we divide the table into two columns, we get from Surah 40 to 42 a sum of 1121, which is 19 times 59. If we form the cross sum here, we also get the multiplier 59. And from Surah 43 to Surah 46, we get the sum of 1026, which is 19 times 54. And if we now form the cross sum here, we get 54, which is again the multiplier. Let's take a closer look at Surah 42. This surah begins in verse 2 with the letters Ain, Sin, Qaf. If we now count these letters in this surah, we will again get a multiple of 19. All three letters are marked in color in the picture. The letter Ain appears 98 times, Sin appears 54 times, and the letter Qaf appears 57 times. That is a total of 209, which is 19 times 11. It is also noticeable that the number of qafs in Surah 42 is the same as in Surah 50, although Surah 42 is much longer than Surah 50. In this way, the Quran was protected by God Almighty with the number 19, Surah 6, 157. Or you say, if the book was sent to us, we would have been more guided than they. Proof has come to you from your Lord, guidance and a mercy. Who is more weak than one who denies God's signs and turns away from them? We will punish those who turn away from our signs with the pain of retribution for what they turned away. My sources for this miracle is the book of Edip Yüksel and the book of Rashad Khalifa, Quran, a visual presentation of the miracle.